Hey Kingsmen, welcome back. I hope you guys are all doing well. Today I have a no, psych. It is not a 1212 AD. It is a Napoleonic Total War 3 battle. It is a 3v3, and it is the Finnish, I believe, corps. This one was sent in by Blitzkrieg. We have a Russia-Sweden fight for you guys today, and that is actually a, well, it is a rivalry. Swedish and maybe not in the Napoleonic time period, a little before that, but there was a clash with Sweden and Russia over some areas in, I believe, the Black Sea. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Frederick the Great was actually trying to, establish himself as a empire of the West, and he needed a port to kind of, be like, hey, I'm here. But today, it is just a 3v3. You do have a guerrilla faction. This is a crazy good artillery. What I mean by that is it can go anywhere in the guerrilla deployment. They have some Jaegers and some light dragoons defending them and already kind of just letting the Russians know they are here. And they got some kills here, the first kills of this fight. RIP the two Russians that just died. One of many. Now, the Russians are going to be having to split up or stay together. If they split up, which possibly they're going to do, they're going to have one army going along this road and the other two going along here. It will be, they'll still join together in the field, but there's a lot of nice hills that the Swedish can take here. More artillery. These guys are in sync today. They're just gonna get so many kills here. Even more kills as Russia. I would not be very excited about that. In fact, I would not have my general here. I'd have them going this way to make them think I'm going that way. But the Swedish probably are pretty smart, and they realize that the Russians aren't going to be marching down this road. Now we do have some cav, it looks like, moving over here. They're going to probably be trying to get rid of this artillery piece. They better hope they have more cav, though, because reinforcements are showing up already. Now, the other Swedish armies, they have some cuirassiers, some heavy cav. Look at that. We've got a windmill and then the heavies. Infantry as well. Now, the Swedish have a lot of squarables when it comes to their line infantry. Because they have dragoons and carbineers. Nice. Aha, yes. So we are going to be having a, fighting both ways. Now, Russia is maybe going to come out looking a lot better here because they have just the numbers. And actually over here looks like Sweden lost their calves, so this artillery better get themselves out of there because Russia is going to run them over. But it did force Russia to lose a lot of cav here, so maybe it'll end up being a win here. As these Kazakis, I mean, it's just Kazakis, but they are gonna, they're gonna run down this artillery, make sure it doesn't come back. The Swedish still have this area, but unfortunately their cav just wasn't good enough of a quality to be able to hold this hill. Now they're gonna get some volleys off here. And they captured yet another LOC, so the Swedish do have the LOC advantage at this point in time. They have a 2-pointer, a 4-pointer, a 1-pointer. Their 4-pointer, of course, is probably going to be garrisoned by the Russians, as it is over here. I don't think this is going to be an LOC fight. I think this is going to be duking it out, swinging at each other, and seeing who ends up coming out on top. This may take a little bit. I'm going to fast forward a second, keep an eye on the mini-map. But it's going to take a second as this is not a lot of roads that the armies are going to be able to navigate on the Swedish side. Now the cav should get up, and I think this should be very interesting when it comes to the cav fighting. Mainly just because both of these factions have some good light dragoons and heavies. Honestly, Russia is the one you kind of use to go against French heavies. Now, in some ways they are better, in some ways they are worse. So it's going to be interesting. Very, very interesting. I like Sweden. My family's part Swedish, so
We have taken a building,
some
sir.
national pride there. No, I'm just kidding. I actually don't really have a team I'm rooting for in this one, just because both of these are very good factions. They're all very good players, so I'm just excited to see what their plans are. Now, we do have some light dragoons going around, way around, to kind of scout. We do have some dragoons, maybe a combat gen here, a hussar unit, kind of backing them up. And I think we're finally going to see infantry for a second as they're going to march down this road. The one thing that Sweden... Oh, we do have a cav charge here. Yep, we do have a cav charge going against the Kazakis. Some hussars going against some Russian Kazaki lancers. And that is a no... That is a shoe-in victory so far. Now, the Russia is going to have a lot of infantry, most likely. Not a lot of squares, but they're going to have a lot. In fact, ooh, you know what? I would totally charge this if I was in this position. Now, maybe that is why I'm not the greatest, but I would charge this. Oh, good. Good to know that I'm not alone. But they are going to charge these light infantry who did not get any support here. And now they're going to rush up some of their dragoons. But I think it's over. These guys have lost a lot of men. And you could force the Russians to commit a lot of infantry in cav here. Oh, they're going to run over their own infantry. Yes, but we're going to have a commitment here as some cuirassiers are going to go in against the Carabiniers. We have a general here to kind of inspire. More cav rushing over from both sides here. So heavies v heavies, dragoons versus dragoons. We do have some Kazakis maybe trying to go for a gen snipe, but we have more cav now from Sweden rushing over here. This general Wilhelm better get his butt out of there, as this is gonna turn out to be maybe a disaster for the Swedish. And Russia managed to outplay the Swedish here, and the infantry got out of there. So I would have been very upset at myself, obviously, because I would have done the same thing in this situation. Will the general get out of there? He is wavering. See, and the reason, like, Russia did not, or Sweden did not really push up here. Sweden did not push up because there's a lot of enemy cav kind of massed up on the side as well. Now, artillery is setting up in the same position as before. We got some Swedish infantry now forming up. Then we're taking on the Russian infantry. That general leads a lucky, charming life. He managed to get himself out of there, and he's probably very happy to be able to get out of there, because I thought he was dead. So horse artillery and 12-pounders. I love the position they have up on the hill commanding this area. They're able to back up this fight. Looks like they're going for some artillery, dueling against the 6-pounder horse artillery of Russia here. And I think that the Russians are probably going to start gunning for the masses of infantry. Yes, they are, of the Swedish. And the Swedish, like I said, outnumbered, guys. I think what is going to be best for them is to focus in one area. Because if they go up in a standing line battle, I think with the Russians, this is going to be bad. They are just going to be outnumbered. The stats for their shooting accuracy aren't super better. It's a little better, but not a lot better than the Russians. But Russia is actually falling back here. The artillery kind of making them decide that maybe this is not where they want to have their infantry stacked up. And Sweden is going to give them something to remember them by. They're going to shoot them as they're falling back here. Looks like they're actually not going to fall back too far before they stand. So I don't think that Sweden needs to push up. In fact, they are actually falling back as well. This may turn into an artillery duel on the right side. Karl Johan sitting behind the hill a little bit, kind of gazing at the battlefield, seeing where they're going to have their movements. Look at that. You can see the infantry pushing up here. I'm so glad I have a computer that it doesn't like have a seizure every time I zoom in now. It is so nice, I tell you what. then I don't cause you guys to have seizures. You got some infantry pushing up as well. Are they running? Yes, they are. I like how the Swedish flag is not the Swedish flag. It's like... So there is a defense here. We do have some infantry holding this house. This kind of a house is very challenging actually to fight for because... Oh yes, let me do this. Because they're going to push up here and run through this courtyard and they're going to get shot at point blank range. And there's one thing I've seen is how deadly that can be. Now these are not grenadiers. I do not see the grenadiers. It looks like Russia, oh, they have a lot of light infantry. So they have lights. Very deadly, actually. I love Russian lights. They're going to ignore that LOC and push up past it, or maybe not. Now, they're going to go into it. Don't know how well it's going to go. We have some Swedish cav kind of supporting this fight. They could charge in here, and I think that's exactly what they're going to do here. But look at this. Watch the point-blank fire. I mean, they're going to have to fight these guys first, and you can see already shots going in and just taking these guys on. Yeah, point-blank fire, guys. But at the same time, it looks like we have, yeah, the cav fight. Although infantry was able to stand and deliver a solid volley here. Sweden actually looks like they're having some problems here. They're losing against the Russians. As Russia managed to rush into the house. No pun intended, although this officer... Hold on, this is so noisy. This officer here... Look at him, that's like the third guy he's killed. Give that guy another medal. But anyway, I'm getting carried away here because we do have a cav charge moving up here, trying to go for the guns.
This building has fallen to
that is gonna fail as these cuirassiers are just gonna, hit them. Actually, they're just gonna break. Russia is actually being more defensive, and Sweden is the one making a general push. At the same time, they did take this LOC, which is a 1-pointer, so no big deal. And if Russia knew that Sweden did not have troops here, they probably would push, but they don't know that. That's a beautiful thing about the fog of war. You can trick the enemy into thinking you're a lot bigger on this side, although they may be pushing up anyway. That is a problem. Yeah, Sweden, I would be like, guys, this is Houston, we have a problem, literally. I have 2 units against a Russian army. Just dig some ditches, you know, you'll be fine. That's a lot of Russians.
Glorious victory, sir, is soon to be yours.
Yeah, some skirmishers and infantry, although, like, here we go. So Russia is going to be defensive. Sweden pushing up here on this hill where that huge cav fight happened. And actually, maybe not. As Russia's moving up there, maybe not wanting to get outflanked here. But Russia is going to get a volley off. Now the hill may save them from losing a lot of men. Yeah, I think they didn't lose a lot of men because of that hill. So Russia just got to push over the hill and get some volleys. Pursue this. Definitely pursue this. Yeah. Now, here we go. We got Russia actually possibly getting outflanked as some Swedish infantry are trying to take on half or a third of the army here. The artillery could really help out this side of the battle.
We have killed their general.
Oh, what?
Now they must break.
Oh, so remember that light dragoon unit? They took on a general. I think this was, yeah, a Russian general here and just destroyed them. So they're gonna have to watch out for some Swedish infantry in the back, or cav in the back lines here. So some regular volleys now being exchanged between the Russians and the Swedish. More infantry now moving up here. Sweden doesn't have a lot, but I think they can hold as they have the reserves pushing up here. skirmishers set up maybe a little bit further back. Artillery gonna start. They're starting to miss. I would turn and have them fire this direction. But now Russia's gonna try to push on the flank of Sweden. Sweden's maybe gonna push up some more infantry here to defend that flank. We have a cav charge, some dragoons, and this is Russia's kryptonite here. The cav versus infantry here. It's gonna just be a problem. Now they're gonna get out of there before they lose. Although, oh, don't get killed by your own men. Yeah, they have some units still moving up. I say Sweden is looking all right, and this is a fight they can definitely win. But Russia could also win, you know. So basically, I'm saying anyone can win, just in a fancy, sophisticated way. Sweden is going to defend the flank of their ally here, as Russia is going to push over this hill, although now Sweden is going to push over more troops here, so Russia needs to watch out they do not get outflanked here by the fast-moving Swedish, although actually they're the same speed. But this fight has had a regular feel about it now, although honestly Russia looks like they're doing really well, using their weight in numbers to be able to push on this flank and put a lot of pressure here, forcing the Swedish to have to push up their reserves, as there's only a small contingent of Swedish infantry on this left side of the artillery.
Sir, our general is under attack.
He just needs to put some, just needs to fall back a little bit. Now, Russia is going to be able to defend this hill. They have some infantry sitting up on it. They have more over here. Who knows how much more? Not a lot of scouting happening here. But Sweden is doing a good job. They are not letting themselves really get outflanked, except for over here. But they are actually fixing that problem, so they're still doing a good job against numbers. Mind you, the massive numbers. Artillery setting up here. 6-pounder setting up a little behind the lines. This is going to start shredding the Russians, as they could honestly fire right here and probably get either of these units here. Now, I don't see any charging yet, but I feel like there's some bayonet charges that are going to be starting soon. Now, we do have Russia deciding to back up their infantry, do some double-stack lines for morale as they take on the regular line infantry of Sweden. A beautiful fight. Now the skirmishers pulling back even more, so they're not going to be in the line of fire, and they can still do some damage. And the artillery at close range is going to start doing some awful damage to this Russian line. This artillery is going to do a lot of damage as well. Oh my goodness. And they're focusing on a really good unit of Russian lights. Combat gen kind of sitting on the side here. And they cannot form square. So I'd be concerned. You don't want to lose your combat gen. That's going to bolster your morale. Sweden is kind of going to set some infantry, kind of face off this 3-line infantry of Russia. I bet you there's more Russian infantry here. Now, Russia does have the hills, so Sweden may want to maybe ease up a little bit here. And honestly, they could put another infantry here and kind of focus 2v1, start, you know, shooting this line infantry down to size. Artillery still helping out, and as you can see, the artillery is starting to take its toll on this musketeer unit. And Russia's wisely going to fall them back so they don't break and cause a morale debuff within the line. And here we go. Yes, we got the Russians going to start engaging over here. This artillery needs to be very careful that they don't friendly fire their own infantry here. Surprisingly, actually, the Swedish look like they're doing pretty well on this hill. But now the line fight has started, and I like 3v3s because of this. Usually the line fight, it's long and stretches the whole battlefield, but it's not so large you can't notice what's happening. Still some Swedish cavs sitting way back here. Oh, we have a cav charge. Some cuirassiers going in, smashing through some of the Russian line, and the dragoons and cuirassiers of Russia are just slow to get to that front line, and it's going to give Sweden a chance to push up super close and honestly start breaking punishing volleys and just start breaking the Russians. Russia is starting to have some real problems here. You got artillery. I don't know what this artillery is doing. What is the artillery? I mean, what are they actually doing? Oh no. Run them out of there. Run. Whew. So artillery going to start helping ease this fight. Now I think that Russia is starting to look not so good here against this fight. Look at this. What a perfect thumbnail. We'll see. Well, if it's a thumbnail, this is the point at which it was the thumbnail. Although it probably won't be. But yeah, so artillery is going to get a clear space to start firing at the Swedish, kind of repaying the Swedish for what their artillery is doing to them. Look at this. They're replacing their units one at a time. We do have units that are breaking from Sweden as they got maybe a little too close here, and Russia's managing to... They have reserves, so I'm not too concerned. They have a lot of reserves. So Russia may be losing infantry, guys, but they are doing what they should be doing, which is standing and delivering the punishment, starting to try to make these units smaller. In this line, we do have a cav fight, but these guys managed to form square here. As these dragoons, oh, we have some skirmishes as well, but we have Russia sending some infantry and cav maybe over to deal with this artillery. And yeah, the cav are going to keep going. These guys are still in square formation, so this is going to not go well for these dragoons. Yeah, I would be... Oh, no. So Sweden was not noticing until maybe it's too late. Maybe not. Maybe they're catch them just in time here. Maybe just in time. As that charge was not a very decisive charge, but they may still take out this artillery piece, and they do. That is a huge loss for the Swedish on this right flank. Left flank, I would say actually Sweden's doing a decent job. They have actually some infantry in the tree line. They're focusing on this combat gen with everything they got. Russia is starting to look pretty bad on this side. They're wavering, becoming concerned. In the center, they are even having some problems here, but they have massive infantry to reinforce that line, keep the fight going. And at this point, that's what you want to do. You just want to keep that fight going. Don't let up. Do not let up for a second as Russia. Until you don't have men left, obviously. But it looks like actually Russia is disengaging over here. We do have a large cav force pushing up over here. But they are falling back. That assault, which is where everything started, not doing well for them. So that is why they have kind of moved back. They don't want to have that flank cave. Over here we have a general charge of Russian infantry by Swedish cav. And oof, they are really pounding this infantry into the dirt. The heavy cav of Sweden starting to really cause the hurt, although this is a really excellent strategy. You let some infantry take the brunt of the cav charge and then fire with the rest, but now they're going to be caught in melee with heavies, and you can see that Russia is going to start moving over some cav to support this area. Their center has broken, so they're going to put up fresh infantry. Sweden does not have that luxury. These men are going to have to fight on. It is a fight of attrition for the Swedish. The Swedish war of attrition, or battle of attrition, I guess would be the better term. These Swedish are going to be able to actually have a rest here. The artillery going to start trying to break maybe some of these units as they're standing here. We do have cav pushing up here, but these light infantry can form square, and they are going to put up a brave face here. And infantry, though, also going to push up here, and they are going to bayonet charge this square and force the light infantry to probably rout, as it is a huge disadvantage to be in square formation against a bayonet charge. Now, the thing that I see concerning is Russia needs to readjust their line. They have a unit kind of sticking out. This is a sore thumb here. All these 3 units probably are focusing on this 1 unit. The firepower is not being utilized to the best ability, I think. Over here, Russia has some numbers, so they can start pushing on the flank. There's only 1 artillery piece here. If these guys can form square, or they can have cav to defend that side, they can start pushing and maybe tumbling the flank. They are slowly running out of reserves here. They have some more reserves for maybe 1 more push, but they are running out. As more infantry now for Russia starting to break. We do have more of that cav going once again for more of the Russians. These guys don't have a banner, so honestly it's kind of hard to notice them. But the Swedish are making an excellent push using their dragoons. Oh my goodness. That's a problem. So we got some dragoons and some basically hussars that may be trying to go for some artillery. Or just for the back line of the Swedish. As Johan, the general, is in the back lines here. And the Swedish don't really have a lot of cav to really defend this, so I think the Russians are going to make a general movement in the midst of this battle with no cav for Sweden in the center. No, we have some brave dragoons who have been ordered to intercept these hussars, but here come the rest of the cav. We do have infantry. Sweden did notice it, and they have some infantry who's off. Gonna probably get a volley off. Get a volley off, please. Fire. Fire, fire. Oh, that's gonna be punishing. Skirmishers gonna have to try to get themselves out of there. Artillery is probably gonna... Oh, this is looking a little bit disastrous here, as now this back line can be getting charged by the Russians, and Sweden is not able to really multitask very well because they're dealing with some enemies in the back lines. Now, Russia did engage the Swedish cav and broke almost all of it, so now Sweden is going to start pulling back on this side. You can see Sweden is having some wavering. They just got charged by a ton of cav. They're going to try to do their best to hold. They should send these hussars in right now, charge the back of... Okay, they did defeat them. No, we have more cav now pouring in from this side. Some squares, though, is going to break them, but now a bayonet charge by the Russians, countercharged by the Swedish, and Sweden's actually going to pull back here, as this is kind of looking a little concerning. They could get split in half by the Russians. I think the Russians should not have shipped the reinforcements. They should have kept them there and split the army and pushed on the flank here, tried to destroy this side. Over here, Russia is just taking out whatever's left of the Swedish artillery. We have a Dragoon versus Cuirassier unit fight now. They're tired versus winded, so it's not going to go very well for the Swedish. Russia is now going to use their brute numbers, brute force, to start pushing on the Swedish flank. Sweden is going to have to start falling back here. Unfortunately, it was a outnumbering there's nothing you do against numbers at this point in time. And Russia, I think, is starting to feel that maybe the tide of battle is shifting in their favor. Not over here, necessarily, but on the other side of the battlefield, and maybe in the center. More cav fighting. These hussars are fighting the hussars of Russia. Probably going to break them here. And Sweden is going to have to fight a retreating battle here. It's like some Russian infantry, maybe grenadiers, trying to go in against some of the Swedish line infantry. Sweden is not even going to stop. They're going to we got to keep going. But Russia's persistent, and the persistence may pay off. as this is a very fresh Russian army still. I think Sweden should just fall back to this hill, use the artillery, and hope that this flank can swing around and help them out. I mean, look at the Russian dead. If the Russians win, it'll be a Pyrrhic victory, to be sure. I mean, they've lost so many troops.
The men are fatigued, sir, and must rest a while.
But they are pushing, and they have not stopped. That is one thing I gotta give them props for. The Russians did not stop, even when things were looking very grim. Hashtag can't stop, won't stop. And now they're gonna have a bit of an interlude as their reinforcements are gonna start pushing here on the flank here. It looks like Sweden, I'm not sure what their game is, but hopefully they're gonna join their ally and go for a desperate last stand here. We have some heavy cuirassiers from Russia still on this side. These guys are probably gonna get charged by those heavies. The artillery, though, for Sweden is still a huge problem for Russia. You see, they have lost a lot of infantry to this artillery, and there's even more of it showing up here. So Sweden can afford to sit on this flank a little bit, have their artillery sit here, and basically just rotate their infantry this direction. Use artillery in the center, have some infantry to back it up. You are just destroying the Russian infantry. I'm just blown away with all the dead. You know, all the dead from this fight. Unfortunately, Russia was not able to decisively crush that left flank. They still can. Still can afford to. Look at this. We got some men who are standing strong here. Gonna hit a volley. Nope. And Russia's going to start being more tenacious, pushing even more. We got some cav, though, pushing up. I think Sweden's going to sacrifice some of their infantry to maybe save the rest of the army so they can form up here. And, yep. Looks like this is going to be a reform. Although, look at this. Sweden has not stopped pushing, and that is a good thing. They're going to start, maybe, if they can crush this army, Russia is going to not have enough. And look at this, we have some Swedish infantry pushing up here, going for the flank. Artillery just leveling the Russian infantry. Russia is in a pickle. I would say this is a solid pickle. Like a definite bad spot. And they're starting to lose men left and right. They do have some of their own artillery here, but look at the artillery blasting away at this line infantry. And now the smoke, you can't even see a thing. And Sweden is going to start... I'm surprised that Russia's not trying to move over. If they can join together, I think they could win. That's why Russia, I think, is trying to get out of there as fast as possible, and Sweden needs to not let that happen. Unless they have LOC advantage. Russia's going to lose another infantry here. That artillery. So they're getting away from the artillery position. That is wise. At the same time, they're going to start, looks like they're going to start pushing up on the flank here. But Russia, this Russian faction, I think is going to try to hold by the hill. They have their own artillery now forming up. But Russia, they're going to have to worry about a flanking force here from Sweden. As well as some cav that is going to start. Oh, it is a final duel of the heavies going against dragoons. And I think Russia, unfortunately, is going to get outflanked here. But can they hold it together? And can they break? Nope. For a second, I thought maybe they were. Unfortunately not, and now Sweden has the cav superiority. Maybe not a lot. And never mind. No one has the cav superiority. All have lost their cav now. But I would say Sweden has an advantage when it comes to artillery. They have way more artillery. I think they're trying to make sure these dragoons don't come back. And Russia is starting to hold this hill. Sweden's starting to push up. This artillery is going to be a problem for Sweden. But Russia honestly has a very thin line here, and this artillery is just going to start tearing them apart here. I mean, Russia took the brunt of a fight that they were winning. But here comes the rest of Russia, finally able to meet up. I would focus all the artillery on this. Although that's a good, target. 161 men now, 120. I can't help it, guys. I have to get cool shots. It's just it's an addiction. I have to. It looks so cool. And Artillery in the Hill making a brave front here, and actually doing some real damage to the Swedish Lifeguard. Yeah. Wisely, Sweden is now going to move out of the way. Now, there's more Russians over here. Oh, wait. They're going to go for the 2-pointer. They're going to try to go for an LOC victory. And they totally can with this many infantry. Now, there's a general and more infantry moving over here. So Russia needs to be very careful. Their morale is probably not the greatest, but these guys are pretty fresh, pretty large units. And they actually have grenadiers, so I think they can take this. That could change the horse of the battle that's being fought over here. The one problem I foresee now is that Russia is just going to have to sit here and take... How many guns is this? That's 3, 6, 7, 8. 8 guns pounding your position repeatedly. And you have 3 guns, or 4 guns. Is this a general? Wow. Yeah, there's 4 of them left, but he is still alive, I think. Oh my goodness, this artillery is focused down. Okay, wisely, actually, I would say. They're focusing down, and they broke the Russian artillery, so now I think Russia's basically deciding they need to get an LOC victory in order to win. So that is why they have moved even more infantry and leaving this small force to be the sacrificial lamb, as it were, so they can win an LOC victory. Now, hopefully, Sweden is going to maybe try to go for a 4-pointer, say over here. They have 18 minutes. They could definitely do it if they started walking now, or they're shifting over troops to defend this LOC. But either way, I don't think they are actually. Yeah, Russia is just giving up on this hill, so Sweden needs to do something. They need to start. They need to start legging it for something. All right, so we got a general in the house as well. I would move the general to not the house right there because he's going to die first, and then the morale will crash. More infantry now moving up here, though, so it could be close still. And the first shots are being fired at this house. Could you imagine these guys are like, hey, you guys got to hold the house, but the fight is over here, and the whole time you just hear a rattle of musket fire and the thunder of guns, and you're like, oh, cool, it's over there. And then all of a sudden, guys, Russia's showing up, guys. There's like 4 units coming towards us. That would be very not cool. Yeah, the problem is the morale is going to crash because they're going to kill the gen really fast. Point-blank fire, though, always a good thing. But Russia took the last house, so I think they can take this house. They may lose the first infantry that take it, or charge into it. Yep. But these grenadiers should be able to help out with that fight. Russia is just basically moving all over here. They're actually going to go for this 1-pointer, so it's going to be a 2 versus 1, but they have another 1 point over here. So 4, 5, 6. They could do 4, 5, 6, 7. So they should mobilize this 1-pointer. Just saying. But Sweden's going to just volley that 1-pointer into oblivion. This fight is the true fight that matters. Allied general has fallen. And now the Swedish are going to have a problem. I'm trying to hold this house. Yeah, they took it. And now Sweden's going to have to try to fight now. We do have Russians. I don't think there's even the Grenadiers that gone in yet. We have artillery as well, but there is 15 minutes remaining here. So that'll be interesting. Now, the Russians are just getting shot to pieces in this house. I don't think the Swedish are even interested in charging it yet. There's 96 versus a lot. These Sea Guards should go over and take that other 1-pointer. They can ensure their victory that way. But I'm going to fast forward here because Sweden has not made their push yet here. I guarantee you they're going to take that 1-pointer. Yep, they're going to take that 1-pointer, and it's going to be 2. Did they take a 4-pointer? I don't remember. And I'm sure they are. Yeah, they have infantry going over to it. You gotta keep an eye on that. Okay, so they are going to go and take this other 1-pointer, so they should still win the LOC victory. Which is what this has basically come down to. Sweden is a little scattered, and Russia's kind of taking advantage of that. But Sweden is pushing up a lot more infantry, so this fight should go well in the long run for Sweden. Yeah, they took it, and they're going to take this one, and they have plenty of time to do so. So that's probably why Russia's moving over to that side as well. Oh, more Russian infantry actually showing up, so Russia may be making a comeback here. Oh, come on, come on. Stop and fire. It is so close. You're so close. Just stop and fire. Oh, they're going to bayonet charge. Counter bayonet charge from Russia. Russia's going to send some backup. Sweden not doing as well because it is Russia after all.
Our men are running, sir.
And, yep. This fight, honestly, is not going to matter. The real fight is going to be over for an LOC way over here. Which is what it's basically come down to. We'll see if they take another LOC. If not, then I would say... I don't know if Russia has this one. Let me see the windows are broken. Oh, yeah. So Russia does have this one. The windows... No, it's not. The doors are not burst open. What are they? The windows aren't burst. The door maybe is. I don't know. I don't think it is. Because if you look at the other houses here, say for instance even this one, you can't see anything, but all the doors are burst open. All of them. So Russia is still not going to win unless they go to that 4-pointer. Now they are kind of making a big push here for the Swedish. With 7 minutes to go. Oh wow, that guy. That guy caused a bunch of other men to fall over. That is crazy accurate mechanics. This force artillery is just gonna make the Russians want to go home. And, oh, there was units over at this house on both sides. Would you look at that? The Swedish and Russians are fighting for another 1-pointer. So, it's possible that this 4-pointer will be taken. I don't hear anyone going to it yet. But Russia does have a lot of units going up to this 1-pointer. They're going to try to reinforce it. I don't think they realize that the Swedish garrisoned their 4-pointer way in the back. But they did. And they're also going for this 2-pointer. Don't know where it's going to go, but they're going in for it.
Our men are running for it.
Yeah, it's not going very well so far. Another bayonet charge here. With 6 minutes to go, the fights are raging on 2 different LOCs. And actually, Russia's have some mass routing problems. We have more musketeers going in. I think the grenadiers, yep, are the ones in the house. And this is basically just a fight, I think, for bragging rights at this point. Yeah, this fight is just... These poor Russians in this house. That's a cool looking house, I will say that much. They're just trying to basically shoot it into oblivion. They're also shelling into oblivion. Grenadiers are sitting in that house. They're also on the flank here as well. Just leave the poor house alone, my goodness. The 1 point, you know, they're... It's like, I think the Swedish have won. That poor house. These houses have just all been brutally destroyed. The amount of bullet holes that are probably in it, let's be honest. Over here, Sweden is kind of falling back here. And with 3 minutes to go, I don't know if they're going to actually be able to take this house. The only other action really is happening over here. There we go. It is a fight for the house. So the fight is raging. I think these Grenadiers are probably going to lose out on it. I think the Swedish will take it finally. Yep, they took it. So they have secured, I believe, an LOC victory. And I've got notifications otherwise about anything else. So a good game. Either way, a good game. My goodness, it was intense. And who said that 3v3s can't be fun, you know? The death that Russia suffered, unfortunately, in this field. They're still fighting for it. But like I say, guys, this one was sent in, I believe, by Blitz. Gosh, which one was it? One of these players, and their name's different on this than it was in the Discord, which is what's throwing me off. Artillery got some crazy good kills for the Swedish. Both sides did really well on the kills, so yeah, that's about it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for joining me. You guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe, and I will catch you all in another video.